There's a kind of tiredness you can't sleep off, a weight that sits on your chest even on the best days. And the worst part is, no one even knows it's there, because you smile, you nod, you show up, you do your job, you keep the world from falling apart, even when you're the one who feels like he's slipping. That's the war no one talks about. The one most men fight every single day. You don't talk about it because you learned not to. Maybe from your father, or your coaches, or the world in general. Somewhere down the line, someone taught you that real men keep it together. That pain is a private thing, that you should bleed quietly, if at all. So now you sit with these things inside you, memories that still sting, thoughts that circle your head like vultures, doubts that say, you're not doing enough, you're not good enough, you should be further by now. And what do you do with that? You work more, you say less, you bury it deeper and hope it doesn't leak out in ways that ruin you. But it does. It shows up in how quick you get angry over small things, in the way you shut down when someone gets too close, in the nights where your chest gets tight and you don't know why, in the way you drink, scroll, numb, distract. You're not lazy, you're not weak, you're just tired of carrying things no one sees. Some of you haven't cried in years, not because nothing hurts, but because you don't even know how anymore. Your body turned off that switch a long time ago. Some of you walk into rooms full of people and still feel completely alone. You joke, you smile, you blend, but inside it's quiet. Too quiet. You ever look in the mirror and not recognize who's looking back? Not because you've changed on the outside, but because somewhere along the line you lost track of who you really are. You became what people needed, what people expected. A provider, a protector, a steady hand, and you are all those things, but you're also human. And that part of you, the part that feels, that breaks, that needs something back, it's still there. You just learn to mute it. Sometimes you wonder what it would be like to be fully seen. Not the version of you that's got it all together. The real version, the one that's scared, the one that carries shame, the one that still thinks about things from years ago that never fully healed. But you don't say it. You can't. Because once a man opens that door, it's hard to close it, and the world doesn't always handle that kind of honesty well. So you keep the mask on, and you perform, and most people clap. They don't see the cracks. Hell, sometimes you don't either. Until one night, you're sitting alone, and everything feels too loud and too quiet at the same time. You don't know what you need. You just know you don't want to feel like this forever. Here's the truth. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're not failing, you're just tired of pretending that it doesn't hurt. And that makes sense, because it does hurt, all of it. The pressure, the silence, the feeling like you have to keep everything inside just to keep the world spinning for everyone else. Somewhere in all of this, men forgot that strength and softness can live in the same body. That courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like sitting still long enough to feel something again. Sometimes it's just telling the truth to yourself, if no one else. The invisible war doesn't end with some big moment. It ends slowly, quietly, when you stop trying to outrun what's already inside you. When you stop pretending that being alone with your thoughts is something you can always survive without breaking, and when you finally let yourself ask the question, what if I'm not okay? It's not weak to feel, it's not weak to need, it's not weak to want more than just survival. If no one's told you this lately, I will. You matter, even when you're silent, even when you're struggling, even when the world doesn't make space for your pain, you still matter. Some days, the strongest thing a man can do is sit with himself and admit that he's not as fine as he looks, that he's exhausted from holding it all in, that he's still healing from things he never got to name. And sometimes, the bravest thing is saying nothing at all, just breathing, staying, and deciding to make it through one more day, even if it feels like hell. Because even if you're fighting a war no one sees, you're still here. And that means something.